From January 21st to June 30th, total assaults against federal agents numbered 79. That's a 690% increase year over year. What do you think, Paul, is behind this?
Number one, a lot of the dangerous rhetoric that the Democrats are talking about, and people on the left, there's a lot of misinformation. They're calling our agents thugs. They're going after them. They're not only protesting, but attacking them. And it's due to the recklessness on the part of these people on the left. And it's going to get some people killed.
I want folks to know we have your back, and we'll continue to come back and do what we can to protect our diverse communities, to protect the spirit that defines the best of this city and our state, and to push back against this cruelty. That is being perpetuated by the President of the United States.
They need to leave, and they need to leave right now. They need to leave because this is unacceptable.
Last I checked, I was elected to be mayor of the city. That did not include a federal takeover. So either you believe in democracy or you don't.
No matter which channel you turn on in the US, it's almost always feels like someone is screaming at you. Fox News blames the Democrats for the riots in Los Angeles. The Democrats in turn blame the Republicans and openly call for resistance. The result? Illegal migrants defy the authorities. The authorities respond with more force, all the way up to military deployment. I'm German, and I'm trying to understand this polarization. The more I dig through your political landscape, the clearer the pattern becomes. The progressive left has for years pushed for open borders, driven by conviction, compassion, maybe even ideological blindness. Now the Republicans are trying to reverse it. That's why they were elected. The Democrats are resisting every rollback because they believe it's what their voters demand, and because they see it as a matter of justice. What you get is a permanent tension, a country that not longer debates, but fights. And here's the dangerous part. When politicians treat each other like enemies, civil war stop being a metaphor. It start looking like a direction. But don't take my word for it. Listen to this, then you will understand what I mean.
ICE agents, Border Patrol agents, cops are now getting shot at. How is this happening?
There is an insurrectionist movement in the Democratic Party that is inspiring domestic terrorism against ICE. When you have the mayor of Los Angeles mobilizing agitators, mobilizing the mob against ICE, saying that federal law enforcement has to leave her city. This is a settled constitutional question. Federal law is the supreme law of the land. You cannot nullify it. You cannot succeed from it. It is the law of the United States of America. So these insurrectionist Democrats are every day engaging in rhetoric that is incentivizing, that is encouraging, that is fomenting violent terrorist attacks against ICE and ICE officers. Not only in the shootings that you've seen recently, but ICE officers are being doxxed. Their families and children are being threatened. Their addresses are being posted online. They are being subjected to a campaign of terror by these radical Democrats.
I can feel what's happening. This anger on the conservative side. It's real and it's everywhere. Millions of people entered the country in a very short time. And all the major media outlets call it again, completely blind to the consequences. Anyone who raised doubts, labeled a racist. Criticism, not allowed. Decent, crushed. And now it's coming back with full force. Because when the Republicans started calling their political opponents terrorists, that's not just a bad choice of words. That's dangerous. Because you don't negotiate with terrorists, you eliminate them. I am not American, but from what I see, what you really need right now isn't more enemies. It's a way to understand what's happening. The Democrats chase an ideal, driven by hope, blinded by illusion, and as the political pendulum swung further and further to the left, some cities like San Francisco turned into a social war zones. Basic safety no longer guaranteed. And now comes the Republican backlash. The pendulum is swinging hard, this time to the right. And those in power now are using the exact same rhetorical weapons the left once did. Just listen to this.
Why, Jesse? What is this all about? This is the central struggle in the West. The Democrat Party's objective is to flood the West with millions upon millions of illegals, from the developing world, from the poor nations of the world, the failed states of the world, the collapsing states of the world, believing that in so doing, they will collapse the West. They will collapse the middle class. They will collapse the population that has lived here before the migrants came. And in so doing, they think in the rubble of that, they can rule. They can sit on top the pile of ashes.
These are heavy accusations. But honestly, isn't the core idea of the Democrats kind of beautiful? That everyone should share in prosperity. That there should be no borders, no rejection. Just one human family. Those are powerful, hopeful images. But then reality hit. And in Germany, we are seeing something very similar. We have taken 12 million people, many from Arab and African countries. The media told us diversity, tolerance, a new beginning. But now, years later, it's clear. Not everything was as great as they promised. Our society has changed dramatically. Yes, many immigrants contribute, and that deserve respect. But alongside that came poverty, tension, violence. When knife attacks jump from 5,100 to 23,000 per year. When women don't feel safe walking at night. When no-go zones emerge. When parallel society starts to form. You can't keep saying everything is fine. You have to be honest. Society can't carry this much longer. And still, many in the Democratic camp just kept pushing forward. In the US and in Germany. Stubborn, moralistic, detached from reality sometimes. And now it's ordinary people paying the price. But maybe the most dangerous part isn't even what was done. It's how people talking now. This polarization, these enemy narratives, they are coming from both sides. And that's what pushed society to the edge. Just listen to this here.
Ask yourself this. Why is it that Democrats are so insistent that unlimited numbers of illegals from countries that are incapable of managing their own affairs come here? Countries like Somalia, countries like Haiti, countries that have no history of successful self-government, and they want unlimited numbers of illegals from those countries and refugees from those countries to come here with no chance at the pace, the scale, the scope of arrivals at being able to assimilate and integrate into the American way of life. What has it done to our schools? What has it done to our hospitals? What has it done to just traffic in our cities? Every issue that affects our quality of life, Jesse, public safety, drugs, crime, education, healthcare, waiting in the emergency room, are all exacerbated, worsened, and undermined by mass illegal immigration. ICE officers are heroes, and they need the support of the American people. President Trump is liberating our towns, just as he was promised, just as the American people overwhelmingly voted to give him a mandate to do.
You know what's truly sad? This whole thing. Open borders, unchecked migration, moral grandstanding. It's been pushed so far that now people have completely lost the ability to tell the difference. And honestly, I think the Democratic Party holds a big part of the responsibility. Because when you treat every migrant the same, whether they're here to build something or to break something, when you shut down every debate, when you sell the public a fantasy instead of the truth, you set the stage for the worst possible outcome. The backlash becomes a mirror, and generalization hits back. First, all migrants were supposedly equally good. Now suddenly they are seen as equally dangerous, equally bad. And now, none of them are really safe anymore, not even from deportation. Listen to how they are all being lumped together now. It hurts. It strips real people, people who gave something to this country, of their dignity. And that should scare everyone.
This was told to Axios by a House Democrat, unnamed, and you could imagine why when I read this to you. Democrats told to get shot for the anti-Trump resistance. Quote, our own base is telling us that what we're doing is not good enough. There needs to be blood to grab the attention of the press and the public. Do you have any Democratic colleagues? I know that's a House Democrat that said that, but anyone in the Senate pushing back and saying this is not the way to go, guys?
I would
I would hope that that is just a false story that Axios is putting out there, that there was actually not an elected leader that would actually say that. Unfortunately, I believe it probably is true. And no, I have not heard one person condemning that. That enough, Dana, should scare the living daylights out of you. This is why the American people chose to go with President Trump and the Republican Party, because they're tired of this lawlessness. They're tired of this criminal activity that's continuing to take place. They're tired of the pandering to illegals, to criminal activities that the Democrat Party is leaning into, this woke DEI, do what feels right, forget about law and order, defund the police mentality that the Democrat Party has fed into their base. The American people want a country that they can walk down the streets and feel safe. They want to be able to go jogging. They want to know their kids are going to be safe when they're outside in the streets riding their bikes. They want to know that the fentanyl isn't going to kill some innocent kid that just accidentally took something that he didn't know what he was taking. They want to make sure that we have law and order back in our streets, and that's what President Trump is delivering for the American people.
Do you hear that? That's dangerous, really dangerous. When immigrants are all labeled as criminals, when Democrats are framed as a party of lawlessness, that's when America crossed the line from criticism to dehumanization. I truly hope for America and for the entire West, and of course for my country, that somehow we all find the way back, that bridges can be rebuilt, that we agree on some kind of shared order. And maybe, just maybe, starting living in the same reality again. This would be great. That's it from me today. I hope this helped bring a little bit clarity to a very loud conversation. If it did, feel free to subscribe. And if not, no problem. See you next time. Take care.